Son, of the Holy Spirit. Christ is born.
Glorify him.
Beloved, a long time ago, a man who had a very sorrowful life, a very hard life, a life of hardship and sorrows, a man separated from his people whom he loved. He was in exile. And he was in exile on a mountain. And as he walked this mountain, he met God and spoke with him. This man suffered in exile. He was cut off from his people, and his people lay under cruel, cruel, cruel bondage. They were treated viciously by an evil master. So this man had much sorrow because he had tried to free them, but he could not. And what did God say to him? The Lord, after revealing himself to this man, he said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, and have heard their cry. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them, and to bring them up out of that land. These words were given by the Most High God to the prophet Moses. And these words were fulfilled in his time, as we know. But these words were prophetic, because they are fulfilled in this icon right here, in this feast we celebrate now. Be joyful, children of the Lord. Shout for joy, O city of God. For your Father has heard everything. He has heard every groan. He has seen every sorrow. He has detected even the slightest pang of grief and the struggles of anxiety. He sees every tear and even every partial tear. Your Father knows your sufferings, and he has not remained silent. He has acted. In the old times, he sent Moses on his behalf to deliver his people. But now the Most High is not content anymore to act like this. The Most High is not content to know of men's sorrows and to hear their cries from the high place anymore. Now he has come down. He has bent the universe, and he has come down that he may suffer with his people, that he may feel their pain, that he may taste their hunger, that he may hear their cries with ears of flesh. And he has decided that he will bend his own back, a back of flesh, a human back, to bear the burdens of his people and to carry the cross of their sins. The one whom the Hebrews rightly called Most High has made himself most low, that he may save. And we don't begrudge him anything in bending down and coming down to us. We do not say that he has lost anything, for he has lost nothing. He has remained just as glorious as he was before, for his divinity knows no change. And yet he has revealed much to us by what he has done. This action is completely congruent with his nature. It is proper to him. It is proper that he has done this. For in making this descent, he has revealed to us his true characteristics, his true qualities. For what is the height that he has descended from, and the depth to which he has gone down? Who can measure this? No one can. It's infinite. Such is his love. That's why John the theologian can say God is love. And yet, it's also the length, the breadth, the width, the depth of his humility. And who can measure that? No one either. Thus, Abba Isaac can say, humility is the cloak of the Godhead, the cloak that God wraps himself in. Beloved, he has come down, he has conquered. In the old times, he swallowed Pharaoh in the Red Sea. He washed away his army, his whole army. Now he has done the same thing, except in his humility, he has swallowed Satan, the proud. Satan is like this upstart island that has risen, and yet a wave, a tsunami has swallowed him. A tsunami of God's love and his humility has drowned him utterly. And he has also come down to heal Adam, to fix what Adam has done wrong. How does he do this? Let's compare two beginnings. I say two beginnings. That's strange, isn't it? Adam has a beginning, and we know this. And yet he, who is unoriginate, has given himself a birthday, which we celebrate today. He himself, who has no beginning, has made a beginning for himself. That's strange. It's strange. And let's compare these two beginnings. Adam was fashioned in the Garden of Paradise. He was fashioned under the light of God's glory. In fact, he was fashioned last because God made everything for him, even the angels. As I told you weeks ago, the Lord fashioned To his glory, yes, but also to serve Adam. And so everything is ready. Everything is watching. All the angels watch from heaven. And creation itself, all of the earth watches and waits for Adam to be made. All the animals have already been made. All the plants have been made, and they all wait for Adam as God forms him from the dust of the earth, from the clay. All of the earth watches and waits. And Adam is born into glory. He comes alive with the Spirit of God in him amidst all the glory of the world, in a perfect and unmarred creation, immaculate, perfect. But he was not grateful for this. Just like Satan, who was not grateful for what he received, Adam lost what he was given. He lost it. Lord have mercy, he lost it. However, the Master has prepared a medicine for this. He's prepared a rectification for Adam's error. Let's talk about the Master's beginning. Such a strange thing again to say. But what was his beginning like? Was he born in light? No. He was born in darkness. He was born in the darkness of a world wretchedly destroyed by Adam and Satan. He was born in a cave, a stable that was being used in a cave. What is the stable like? It's not a clean place, is it? It's covered in filth, manure and everything. In fact, I was reading one writer, not a saint at all, but this popular writer made a statement. He said perhaps the only clean thing in that entire stable was this manger that the Mother of God laid Christ in. Why? Because it was full of fresh straw, fresh hay, and that's where they laid him, in this humble of all humble places. Not a throne, but a feeding trough for animals. A feeding trough for animals. Who was aware of the coming of Christ? Hardly anyone. The angels, of course, those who were faithful to God, watched. But what about the pious Jews? They didn't know. They were waiting. They knew a Messiah would come, and with faith they waited, and they waited, and they waited. But they did not know the day he would come, nor the hour. But with faith they waited. But they did not know. They were not gazing upon him. So who did the Lord invite? He invited those who were most noble, like him. The angels who would remain faithful, they were invited to come. As was the most holy Theotokos, the most humble of all of his creations, and the noble and righteous Joseph the betrothed, he was allowed also to be there. Who else did the Lord invite? He invited those whom he most delights in, simple and humble men, the shepherds. They were allowed to come. And who else? Even the idolaters, these magi who worship the stars. And yet these magi were obedient to a prophecy that was given much before them. And they were willing to be obedient to this prophecy and to walk for who knows how many miles, to travel, to journey, following this star to a place they did not know, but they would worship the one there. And so the Lord accepted their obedience and brought them to his birth. But think about how humble this birth is. How humble it is. It's only through something like this that the sins of Adam can be rectified. Adam's pride has to be healed, and Satan's pride must be destroyed. And this is how it must be. This is the only way it can be. The new kingdom has been made, the kingdom not of vain glory, but the kingdom of humble nobility. And it begins in fullness right now, in this manger, in this humble place, among these humble people. This is where things begin. The new kingdom, the kingdom of grace, the kingdom of humility. Beloved, we must flee to this everlasting kingdom, the kingdom of humility. We must run and make haste to it. We must entreat the Theotokos that she would give us her virtues and the virtues of Joseph. Beloved, we should cultivate the fidelity of the angels and be faithful as they were, and we will see Christ. We should not put trust in our own knowledge. We should not put trust in our own opinions. Because I tell you, none of the wise men of this time knew anything. They knew nothing about the coming of Christ. They knew nothing. And yet the Lord brought these illiterates, these shepherds, with glory to venerate him, to worship him. Why? Because the Lord delights more in simplicity and humility than he does in the vain learning of arrogant men. He would not tolerate the arrogant, and so he dismissed them from his birth. He did not allow them to come. They were not allowed. And so, beloved, we should cultivate humility like the shepherds and not put trust in ourselves, but trust only in him who is in the manger, who is wisdom incarnate. Beloved, even if you are mired in sins, mired in carnality, and you serve the earth, do not despair, because if you will but yoke yourself to obedience, little by little, like the Magi, and little by little you will see the light and be brought to it. Beloved, no person's eyes should be downcast today. Every eye should gaze up to heaven. And if eyes are wet, they should be wet with the tears of exultation, of ecstasy, of gratitude, that God has come to save his people. That the Lord has come, as he said to Moses, that he has come to save us. Let no one ever doubt God's mercy. He has come from heaven to earth. That is an infinite distance. Who can doubt his love? Who can doubt his mercy? Don't insult him with despondency. No matter how heavy your sins are, do not insult him by doubting his mercy, by doubting his love. But rather have faith in his mercy. Have faith in what he will do for you. Have faith in the labors he has already undertaken for you. Beloved, today the Most High speaks to us. He calls out and he says, "Hear me, O my people. Hear me, O my nation. And remember this day, for today I have made peace between me and you. Here is my Christ. Here is my sacrifice, my offering of propitiation, the one who is the reconciliation of this age and of every age and of all times. Behold, he shall bear away your sins, and he will carry you to me. He has restored what Adam has lost. Come, children. Come, my people. Come, my nation. Let us make peace one with another. Let us make peace today. Let us make peace. Amen.